Hi, welcome to our first class online. We're just going to pick up exactly where we left off the last time that we met, which happened to be Monday night, March the 9th was our last meeting. And we had done a review of the midterm and where we were in our grades for the midterm of the semester. And so I had also assigned a document for you to do, a journal for you to do, to put in your entries for your 4 annotated bibliography entries so that I could review them. And as of today, when I'm making this video for you, none of them had been completed, and so I have done away with that assignment. So don't worry about having to go back and do that. Instead, I've created another assignment. But first, let's talk about the due dates, because I know you're probably wondering if I'm going to change the due dates. And yes, I am. If you look right here, you'll see instead of that journal, I'm going to have a rough draft of your annotated bibliography due March 30th. So, of course, that will be before midnight on March 30th. The annotated bibliography in its final form will be due April the 6th. So, yes, we have pushed that forward a little bit. And the core Project 4 essay due April 27th. I did not change the date on that because we still have plenty of time to get that done by April 27th. So, what I've done also, if you notice on the middle page, I took away the bar that always read what to do for homework, because what we're going to do for homework is going to be listed right up here under this week. So let's take a look at that. Oh, one more thing. The course calendar. I did change the course calendar to reflect the changes that I made in the dates. So now I have here I have 3/16 marked as a break. 3/23 core project 3 annotated bibliography. The rough draft is what you're supposed to be working on this week, and it will be due before March 30th at midnight. Continue to work on core project 4, and for March 30th I have put on here final draft of the annotated bibliography is April 6th. So we'll still have these weeks here from April 6th through May the 4th with nothing to work on except the persuasive problem solution research essay, core project 4. I still have left spring break up here. We do not know at this point if that will be a break, or if it will just continue to be a week that we work on our courses. I'm not sure about that, and this is an ever-changing situation, and as soon as I know anything, I'll let you know. For us, it shouldn't make any difference since we're all working online and you're working on the same project right along. Okay, so let's look at this week and see what we have. First of all, a big note up here in all caps. Note, attendance will be taken by your submission of assignments. So what do you have due this week? You have that rough draft of your annotated bibliography. I'm going to count you present if you turn that in, and I'm going to count you absent if you did not complete that by the deadline. However, if anything happens so that you can't get it turned in by the deadline, remember that you can still email the document to me and I'll upload it for you. I still will count you absent though, so try to stay up with the work just as you always do and always have been doing. Here's my note about canceling the journal from the last week that we met. Since you hadn't done that, I just changed it to this rough draft assignment here. Work on finding sources and revising your annotated bibliography entries. Go back to the slideshow that we had. If you want to look back, you can always look back in previous weeks and see things. But I did bring forth this week forward from the last time that we met, this core project 3 annotated works cited assignment sheet, so you don't have to scroll back to look at that. And when I bring that document up, I did change the sample that was on that document to the actual sample that I gave you for Goal 1, or your first resource, which would be your goal. The information there for that, and my information that I showed you in the slideshow about, first we're going to evaluate, you're going to give your citation, then we're going to put in a few sentences telling what the authority is, how you know it's a good authority, that this website is published by this article. I have used information here about the United Nations, and I told you before that feel free to paraphrase my information about the United Nations, or just look on the Global Goals website and you can find the information about the United Nations yourself. And remember, if you use anything that is a word for word, though, it should be in quotation marks. However, in an annotated bibliography, you really shouldn't be using quotations. So feel free to use my words or a paraphrase of my words, and I will not get you for that. And then a summary of what the page is about. And I did my sample for Goal 5. You'll do it for whichever goal that you're working on. And then finally, how are you using this information in your assignment, in your research paper? So I just substituted what I originally had on here with the actual sample that I gave you last time on the slideshow. So maybe you don't need to go back to the slideshow since I've moved it there. The other thing that you probably, that I have put on this week that you probably want to look at is this document, Annotated Bibliography Format. Now this is a sample. You can see it's in MLA format, so it's Times New Roman, 12-point font. It's double line spaced, and it is just the way you would do an essay. You're going to have the page number up here, and you're going to have your here's your name, my name, the course name, and the date over there. This here where it says your research topic, you normally would put in what your topic is, but since all of our topics are related to these goals, just replace those words right there, your research topic, with the goal that you're working on. So after that, a colon, and then underneath that, annotated. Let's change this right now to bibliography. We're going to be consistent. I've called it works cited sometimes and bibliography sometimes. I'm going to try to correct myself as I go here. Okay, so you're going to indent and start your introduction paragraph here. Now I'm going to give you a sample of that so you can see what goes in an introduction. This will probably take up about halfway or 3/4 of your first page. And after that, you just go down to the next line, and then you're going to put in, again, I know it's redundant, you've done it before, but you're going to do it again because this is the format for it. Your research topic, again, which goal you're working on, and then colon and annotated bibliography. And under that, you're going to put your first citation. So, and it will be the same as we went over in class and talked about. You'll have your author's name, last name first, if you have an author. If you don't have an author, you skip it and go to your article name. And remember that your article name, or your that comes from the web page, does go in quotation marks. Then you'll have the name of the website that published the information that you're describing here in your paragraph. And remember that goes in italics, and then there's the comma, date of publication. If you have it, if you don't have it, skip it. Remember, MLA 8th edition says if you don't have it, just skip it. And then your URL will come next, and remember, you copy that from your browser, and then you will have the date of access. In other words, accessed like 03 March, abbreviated with a period after it, 2020. And then you want to use a hanging indent for each citation. Then right underneath that, you're going to have your paragraph that is going to give the evaluative annotation. So it will start right underneath it, aligned with the indented part of the citation above it, and then it's all double spaced. It's all just standard MLA format. And when you get through with that one, you go to the next one and you start your second source right under that, and you follow the same format for each one. And I have put that on here 4 times so you can see. Remember, we have 4 sources for this annotated bibliography. Now, you don't need a works cited page for this. I've had students ask me that before, because this is the works cited page itself for this particular type of project. So that is available for you to look at and pattern everything that you want to do with that. Also, remember I told you I always like to model for you. You know how I do. And so here's one that I've done. I used my name this time instead of Cindy Luhu, and I've got Debbie Lee, then D. Lee, English 11104G. Of course, our section is B21G, and then the date, and then there I have it. UN Global Goal 5, Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls, annotated bibliography. And then I have my introduction paragraph that has information about the United Nations, how I know it is a good, reliable source. Again, you are permitted to use what I have found out about the United Nations here in yours. You may do that. But then you're going to have a summary of your goal or the page for your goal, whatever it is. So that won't look like mine, but it will be very similar to mine. And then you will have you will have the information about what this information would be used for, so that your reader, when they're looking at this document, can know what it's used for. So for instance, I have this sentence: researching online for core project 4 problem solution persuasive essay for English 111. The following sources were found that give vital information that we used in the essay. Goal 5, Achieve Gender Equality and Empower All Women and Girls. From UN.org, Gender Equality. From Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Sustainable Development Agenda. From UN.org and Women Health Issues, Reproductive Health and Rights. And from Global Fund for Women.org and Women Health Issues from Reproductive Health and Rights from the Global Goal for Women.org. Not reading that right, but anyway, that's what it is. And so, see, in the introduction paragraph, I've covered all 4 of the resources that are going to be listed below. And then you're going to put a sentence of how you know these are good sources. I put this sentence: these sources have been determined to be reliable sources for a college academic research assignment. Some of the articles give background information, and some give information to support solutions for helping the problem. Because that, after all, is what you're supposed to be researching to find, and I hope your solutions meet both of those criteria there. And then when you finish that, I went ahead and started on the next page because I didn't like the way it looked. So I just inserted a page break and went to the next page. But feel free to put yours title again right under that if you want to, or you can insert a page break and go to the next page like I did if you want to. And then you're going to put the title again, and then you are going to start with your sources. So here's source 1, and here's my paragraph. Here's source 2, and that's where I stopped in my sample. I didn't want to write all this stuff out. So, and then again, I would start my paragraph and then source 3 and source 4. So you already have source 1. All you have to do is find 3 more sources to put in your annotated bibliography. So I hope by looking at the formatting document as well as my sample document, you'll be able to see exactly what you need to do for this assignment. When you get it all together, then you're going to submit your rough draft here on the annotated bibliography Turnitin link. I've put on here before March 30th, next Monday at midnight. And that is so that I can make comments to you and you can fix issues with formatting or whatever before the final is due on April the 6th. Underneath that, I put the link for the final where you can go ahead and put that, submit your final document right there. Next week, I might carry that forward on our tab for that. So this is how the course is going to go. If you have any questions at all, I think I've given you enough models that you can look at and do this assignment. The hardest part is coming up with reliable sources and then doing the work that you need to do to put together this annotated bibliography. If you get the annotated bibliography all completed, continue to research because remember, our essay itself is going to have 5 to 6 sources. So you're going to need at least another source, and who knows, you may find something better than what you found for your annotated bibliography for the research paper. So that's what we're working on this week. Please email me and I will be glad to help you. I do not stay in touch with my email 24/7, but I will respond to you as quickly as I have responded in the past, and you know that I respond to you pretty quickly. So if we need to have a Google Meet, I can do that with you, and I can't ask you to come to campus and meet with me in person, but if you want to get some assistance from the English studio, you can't come in there and meet with tutors one-on-one either, but what you can do is go in there and use a Chromebook if you need to, and you can also go to the library and use the computers in the library if you need to come to campus to have access. If there's anything else that I can do to help you, let me know, but we're taking this situation very seriously, and we're trying to separate ourselves from each other as much as possible. And so online is a perfectly great way to continue on with what you've been doing, and I really hope that you will continue to reach out to me. Don't be frustrated and don't give up. Let me know how I can help you. You know I'll be glad to help you. So I'll see you next week.